What's up, YouTube? David with Frugal Marathoner coming to you today from the basement. I know that kind of sounds weird and awkward, but what this basement represents is hopefully my new YouTube studio, but I'm not turning the camera around to show you the rest of the basement because it's an unfinished, typical middle of America house, and it's just boxes and stuff everywhere. So it's very zoomed in and you won't see outside of about there for good reason. The house is about 9 years old. We've never finished the basement in here, but that's on the to-do list. But we're going to do it frugally. And speaking of frugal, today we're going to talk about DIY and how you can be frugal with DIY. So let's get into this. Alright, so let's talk about this little thing here. Well, not this specifically, but what this represents. So this is a part for a hot water heater. It's called a thermocoupler. It basically makes or doesn't make your hot water heater work. And what happened with me is came back from vacation. Always happens after you come back from vacation. What is it? Come back from vacation and the hot water heater stopped working. And it seems like every time we go on vacation something breaks in the house. And so thank goodness my wife is so understanding. She gave me about a day or two to try and fix the hot water heater. But after about 1 or 2 showers, her and the rest of the family were like, hey, you got to fix this. So did some quick research, and actually I think the same day, figured out it was the thermocoupler, went to Home Depot, spent about $20, I think it was, $10 or $20 on this part, replaced it, hot water heater's back in condition. But it's not really about the fixing that. What I want to talk to you about today is the fact that DIY and how it can save you money, but some of the caveats with DIY. So this was an easy fix, it really was. But I've had other fixes in the house and other fixes around that have taken too long, and I just really, unfortunately, made the family unhappy with the length of my fixes. And so one piece of advice I want to give you is to just know your limits. With anything DIY, sometimes us men, we kind of get in over our heads and we tend to think that we can do everything, fix everything, find the answer on YouTube and Google, and it'll be all good. But sometimes you get in over your head. Sometimes you just need to call a professional. So I started kind of putting the principle together that if I can't figure it out in an hour or 2 or so, or it's not a quick fix after trying 1 or so parts, I need to hire a professional. And you know, that's kind of coming to it with my car right now. You know, got a 15-year-old car, got 180,000 miles on it. It's the frugal car, and it's got a problem, like a big problem, like sounds like the rear end of the car is going to explode problem. And yeah, I think I got to take it to a professional. But in the meantime, I got one more try that I'm going to try and fix on it. If that doesn't work, then I'll take it to a professional. But you need to know your limits. But I got to admit, this one was probably the easiest fix I've so far had to do to any one of our appliances. So, $10 part, Home Depot. By the way, quick tip, anytime that you go to a hardware store or any place else, if you can take the old part with you, it'll save you an extra trip. Otherwise, you're going to have to go back. Didn't realize these came in like different sizes and lengths. But I had the part with me, so we were able to just measure it inside a Home Depot. They got me the right length. The guys at Home Depot were great. Only took 3 of them to find a tape measure. But, you know, they sell tape measures. That's a whole nother thing, you know. Why we couldn't just go down to aisle number 26 or whatever number it is. Find the tape measure it. Now they were trying to find one up by the cash register, the customer service area, whatever. But they were great. They helped me out. You know what? Don't be afraid to ask those people what their advice is and what they think that, you know, can help you out. That's what they're there for. Home Depot, Lowe's, Menards, whatever you have in your area, don't be afraid to talk to those people. A lot of those people, some of them very experienced and everything. The one guy, you know, he had actually done plumbing before in his previous life. He was a retired plumber, and he helped me out. So he knew exactly. He's like, yeah, we got to measure it because we need to find out what it is. So, because, you know, I was like sitting there, I don't know which one I want. I don't know which one. There was 3 different brands. He's like, they're all the same. You got to know what length though it is. Just make sure you take the part with you. So, but I figured that I saved probably close to $200, $250 on that part. Now let me explain that. So $20 for the part, trip to Home Depot, about 2, maybe 3 hours of my time, figuring it out, researching it, YouTube, Googling, going to Home Depot with the old part, praying that it was the right part, finding out it's only, $15, $10, and then coming back home, reassembling it, all said and good. But it was a weekend, because things always break on a weekend. And I know that a service charge, plumber to come out, find the part, order the part, probably would have gone to Home Depot too, and get back with that part, install it, probably would have cost him or taken him about the same amount of time, but would have cost me, 100 times more, $200, $300, depending with the weekend. So my big tip for you right now, today's big tip is make sure that you research. Don't over-research. If you can and you're handy, research, figure it out, quickly try out that part, but also know your limits. Know when to say, I'm done, no more. And don't be afraid to then bring in a professional, get it done right and everything. If it's something over your head, it's something that you're not comfortable getting done, don't be afraid to call a professional. If it's something that's not like, life-threatening and, hot water is a convenience, maybe you've gotten by for a day, brought the plumber out on a Monday rather than a Sunday, things like that. So just know that you can definitely do these things. Don't be afraid to jump in, research. You're on YouTube, so you already know how to use YouTube. And don't be afraid to research those things, do those things. And until next time, David with the Frugal Marathon, and I'll see you next time. Oh, by the way, you're supposed to hit like and subscribe, I guess. That's what the young kids all do. So do that for me. Thanks.